Okay, we're going live on YouTube right now. Ooh. There we are. I see me. We're on YouTube. Hopefully, we will soon be on Facebook and the radio. Okay, here we are. Thank you. Okay. Hey, everybody. We are doing reality moment right now. We're getting everything clicked in on two of our other social medias. So those that are watching on YouTube right now, we will be with you momentarily. I'll check and see if we're on Facebook. I see it's on YouTube. I guess I should have a little music playing right now or something. There we are. Okay, I see you on Facebook. Hi, everybody. We are here. And we're here with Miss Melissa Bowman. And I want to say hi to everyone. Hi, Miss Melissa.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me today.
And I'm absolutely very happy to have you too. Thank you for taking your time out of your busy, busy day. Well, I'm so glad that we have the connection with Miss Melissa Bowman. We have this interview to bring about more awareness about mental health. And Melissa Bowman she's currently a lead trainer at Common Ground. So you want to tell us a little bit about that before we get into asking other questions?
Common Ground has been around. We're actually celebrating our 50-year anniversary this year, which is absolutely fantastic. Common Ground's mission is to help people move from crisis to hope. So pretty much anyone who has any issues can reach out to us and we can help them deal with what's going on or point them in the right direction.
Wow. As I read, it says that you've been in the field of social work for about 27 years?
Yes.
Wow. For 19 years, you worked with the Runaway. Now, what is it? The Runaway with the Homeless and Youth area?
Runaway and Homeless Youth programs. Common Ground has what we call the sanctuary programs. They're based out of Royal Oak, but it's for anyone from anywhere. We have multiple programs. Sanctuary, which is for 10 to 17-year-olds. It's up to about 2 to 3 weeks of inpatient counseling, and just for any youth who is having issues at home, having issues at school, and needs some space, needs a place to connect and to deal with all the situations that are going on. It also has a very intense family counseling program. So really to teach the family how to communicate and handle issues so that the youth can go back home and have the skills needed. Then they also have a transitional living program, which is for 16 to 18-year-olds. It's up to 18 months. They live at the shelter. They get group counseling, individual counseling. They can have family counseling if they want. It's a high case management to help youth learn how to live on their own. So a lot of kids do not have skills to live on their own at that age, whether it's paying rent, having a job, learning how to clean a bathroom properly, meal prep, and all of that. And then for those youth who are over 18 up to 23, we have what's called our graduated apartments program. And that's where we will help a youth get an apartment pretty much anywhere where their support system is. And there's still that high case management and group counseling and a bunch of supportive services to help the youth maintain and learn the skills needed for when they're done with that program to then live on their own successfully.
Wow. So this is all through Common Ground?
Yes.
Okay. That sounds good. Also, you said it says that you're a trainer, so you train other people to work on the emergency hotlines, different things like that with you guys.
Yes, right now I am the lead crisis intervention trainer with Common Ground. So I train all of our amazing staff and volunteers who answer our 24-hour resource and crisis helpline.
Okay. I had a question about that as well. Is it okay that we give you a number out right now while we're in the middle of
Definitely.
time? It's okay. Can we give the number out?
The number is 24/7, 1-800-231-1127. Ooh, wait, yeah, 1127. Correct number.
Okay. Okay, that sounds great. So wow, you have a lot of experience, and first we want to thank you for being there at Common Ground, and thank you with your skills. And I guess it does take some compassion, like a calling, for somebody to work in that field. So you work with youth, but do you work with like anybody that will call that's having an emergency, right?
We will talk to anyone if they just need someone to talk to maybe bounce ideas off. If they are in a mental health crisis, maybe a domestic violence or suicidal thoughts, pretty much anyone at any time can reach out for support and connection.
Wow. So that's pretty awesome. And so right now we don't need to do the location or anything, but we like to give this number out just because somebody may be listening. The reason why we're doing this program is to bring about awareness. If anybody is in any crisis at this time, so that they know that they can call you. There is somewhere to get some help. There's a couple people that I've talked to that I was introduced to, and some people that I know. One of them are a couple of them are in a real depressed state. They do take medication, but sometimes they hit a high, then they hit a real low, and so I guess with that situation, you'll be able to see if there is an issue. But what about people that might be going through some things? And I mean, are there any telltale signs, anything that might alert or alarm a family member, or that if somebody might be going through some type of crisis, especially if they're depressed or they're even maybe feeling suicidal?
Yeah, there are warning signs that people can look for. When someone's reaching out and asking for help, is definitely connecting them with one of the crisis lines, whether it's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline or Common Ground's Lifeline, or anyone's local crisis line is a great resource. And maybe just offering to sit on the phone with them while they contact and reach out for support, because there is help out there 24/7. Some warning signs is any drastic change in behavior. If someone normally has a regular routine of sleeping or eating, if there's a change in that, whether they stop eating or start excessively eating, or sleeping more than usual or less than usual.
Okay.
So there are lots of warning signs. Listening for feelings of hopelessness, helplessness, powerless.
Wow. Oh, thank you very much. I know that I was speaking to another person the other day, and her son committed suicide. It was last year. And now, she said she knew something was happening, but I guess now she's feeling like maybe she could have done more. But she saw some changes. She saw a dark side. She saw sometimes they would, they'll be together for a while, would never speak or never talk. And so she felt something. So can you because we were talking about the other day, sometimes we're not brushing it off, but we might not understand how much of an emergency this really could be for someone. And so any inkling or idea or a feeling that you might have, I know you said that it's an emergency, you should go with it. So can you tell us about how imperative and important it is, not to wait around if you're getting any type of a feeling or vibe about someone?
Yeah, everybody deserves to be heard and pain validated. oftentimes we as a society are scared to talk about those elephants in the room.
Okay.
And Common Ground is the one who talks about the elephant in the room. We don't just talk about, we make friends with that elephant and we shake the trunk and let's talk about it. Let's get into that pain and see how we can help this individual. Sometimes a suicidal crisis, the brain is another organ in the body. It is the supercomputer. It connects to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And just like other organs in the body, like a heart, sometimes there can be a glitch. Sometimes there is warning signs of family history, just like we would look at for a heart attack, where we talk about these things and we have these conversations of what is your family history for heart issues. You know, you go to the doctor for regular checkups. Similar with the brain, sometimes there can be issues that were ongoing or that we knew about, such as someone who has heart issues. Sometimes people can have a heart attack with no warning signs. Similar to sometimes the brain can have a glitch without any specific warning signs leading up to it. So anytime someone does have a heart attack or, you know, a heart attack, you're instantly going to be looking for, you know, what do we need to do? Do we need to call 911? Do they need to take certain medication? Do I need to take them to the hospital? When someone is having a brain attack, we need to look for and do those same things, have that conversation with individuals about family history and, you know, seek professional medical advice when needed.
Thank you for that. Also, I wanted to highlight, in our Christian community, I don't know how we can go about it, but I guess talking to you might be a first step, because there was something that I saw that got me. It was on YouTube, and the gentleman, I don't want to say his name, but he was talking about, I think a pastor had committed suicide, and he was well-known pastor. He's not in the state of Michigan. Young guy, nice looking fellow with a family and one of the largest congregations. And this next thing you know, we're hearing that he committed suicide. And everybody's, of course, spiraled into shock about that. So that prompted this conversation that our Christian community, how do we work with this? Because you know, the Christian community, of course, believe that God can do all things, which I can say that. But at the same time, I believe that we need to find a balance between prayer is wonderful, but you know, you can tell people that maybe they can join the two together. They need it. I feel like it would be nice if the church had a team. If ministries had a team that do counseling, and then they take it further beyond that. So do you have any advice for that? I like what you said. It's you know, if you have a heart attack and people see you pass out or whatever, immediately they are going to call 911. They're going to try to get you to the emergency. So the same thing with the mental health issue. Is there ways that we can bring about awareness or connect into the ministries with you and other people? How do we even go about that?
Well, Londen, you are doing it today just by actually breaking stigma and having this conversation, by creating this platform to open it up, to let people know it's okay and we need to talk about it. You know, similar to like diabetes, people are aware. Some people have that issue from a long time. Some people, it happens later on in life. Some people need medication. Some people don't need medication. Sometimes people need medication for a short period of time, and they're able to, through diet and exercise and doctor visits, able to maintain without. So just like the brain,
yes,
sometimes there's issues, sometimes there's situations, but we need to have this conversation. And when talking about religious communities, you know, definitely prayer and commitment to that can definitely help with all of those issues. But just as if it was diabetes, you know, sometimes we need to go to the doctors and the people who have been trained to deal with that.
Wow. So is there any way, I don't know if I'm like a rebel or something, because everybody, they don't agree, and especially when you think about the power of God and everything. But I want to know, how can we get information or some kind of information into different places in the community for people to understand this better, because it seems to be happening a lot. And then, you really hear about it when you hear about the stars, but then it's going on all the time. I'm pretty sure from your experience, you probably hear it a lot, what's going on. We don't hear a lot about it all the time, a lot of us, because we're not, unless it's someone of our loved ones. We hear it when we hear it on the news. We hear it when somebody famous might have committed suicide or something like that. But so, and maybe people don't want to talk about it, but I do, I'm trying to figure out, how can we, like you said, we're doing it now, get information into people, like maybe somebody can go to a church and sit and just have a conversation with the community, like a community conversation about this.
Mm-hmm. That's a fantastic idea. We work with multiple congregations, whether it's to come in and doing talks or trainings with members of the church or community, just on awareness and what are the signs and symptoms to look for. There's lots of different organizations in the community that will come out and have these discussions, or sending information, or even if it's just a card or a pamphlet, whether it's from Common Ground, local organizations, or the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, just having that available and out in the open can help reduce stigma. Because when it comes down to it, it is the stigma and shame of mental health that stops people from, it's a barrier to getting the help people deserve.
And that's very true. And then the other question, we're talking about other people, talking about them losing their loved ones, but what if a person themselves might be going through? How do you know, how do you know you're supposed to call somebody? If you're maybe having an anxiety attack, how do you know that you're going that direction? What should a person do if they feel any sort of way, or what if they say, well, this is not an emergency, I don't know, I'm going to wait around and see?
Then call the crisis line. Like I said, 1-800-231-1127. We're there 24/7 just to vent, to bounce ideas off of, to get connected to resources, to have that conversation, especially if your main supports around you aren't taking it seriously. Oftentimes people feel like they're a burden on their friends and family because of this emotional toll, and they don't want to worry their friends or their family, their relatives. So they will reach out to us because we can help hold that burden with them for a while.
Okay. So say, for instance, if someone, an adult, maybe in their mid 40s or something, and they call you and they feel like they're going through something and they need help. So how do they connect? When they call you, so you would call them, and then from there, you will instruct them on what to do?
We'll just talk and figure out what the best plan is for them. The crisis line is 24 hours. It is fully confidential.
Okay.
So you can call, do not give us your name, and we can just help you figure out how to plan to stay safe for today, or what steps need to take to help you. We truly meet people where they are.
That sounds good. So in other words, you're just there to listen and be there for the person. Now, when it comes to the youth, the children, because sometimes you hear, and it's really, that's very upsetting and alarming too, when you hear of a child committing a suicide or depressed. I had one lady talk to me, it was a while back, and she said she never saw any sign of anything. All her son told her was that he loved her, and that was the last thing she heard from him. So I don't know, the whole thing is pretty, I don't know what to call it. If you may not even see a sign. So
yeah. And sometimes there are protective factors that we can start teaching our children at a young age of how to handle disputes or emotional tolls in a nonviolent way. Connecting with community and having religious connections is a fantastic
Okay.
support and
Definitely.
protect what we call protective factors.
Mhm.
School connections, family connections, religious connections, and then really learning how to talk about emotions and learning that emotions are natural, normal parts of life that we think we can turn on and off, but
Mhm.
emotions don't work like that.
Okay. That's right.
So
That's
learning how to balance and handle those emotions is so important.
yeah. So we're here. I guess we're saying today, everybody, to anybody that might be listening, that it's okay. It's okay to make a phone call. Um, and we need to just when you say it's a shameful thing, it is. It is to a lot of people. It shows. I guess that a weakness. Maybe they feel it's a weakness or something. Um, but I guess people need to know and learn more about the fact that my health, physical body might be okay, but if my mind is going through some things, maybe it wouldn't hurt to go ahead of time and see if I can talk to somebody, you know.
It takes a lot of courage to reach out. And I think
Wow.
that's, it is one of the most bravest thing for someone to reach out and say, I'm hurting and I need help.
Well, in all instances of that, if we could do that, if we can get to that point, because I guess a lot of times we also worry what everybody else has to say too.
Yeah.
And how do I look? You know, they're gonna think I'm crazy or this, that, and the other. And so we just try to cover it up, I guess. That's what maybe people go through. Like it's some type of taboo thing, you know. And I like the fact that you're talking about it's not just, it could be also something that could be in the family, you know, if the family has a history of that. Sometimes it just happens because maybe mom, grandma, father, uncle, auntie, or someone had a history of mental illness. And there's all types of mental illnesses out there, I know, isn't it?
Yeah.
That and then so then that's that. I think if you knew that this was going on in your family, I don't know, it's just kind of like if you can do a
You
a
can be
pre
proactive,
yeah,
and start therapy or counseling or just working on creating that support. I like to think of it that if someone's drowning in
mm-hmm,
mental health crisis, you can consider where someone's drowning in the ocean. And we need to remember that we can have life jackets. And
mm-hmm,
these are conversations to have before. Where are
okay,
your life jackets? What are things you can do all on your own without anyone else around? Is it journaling? Is it listening to music? Is it, watching funny TikTok videos or YouTube videos? What's
mm-hmm,
something that you can do on your own to help handle what's going on? And then who's in your life boat? Who are your outside connections? Is it your clergy? Is it your relatives, your friends? Who are other people that you can reach out to when you're having a crisis? Someone that you can connect with. And then who are the lifeguards? Who are the emergency individuals that you can go to
mm-hmm.
if it gets to that point? Is it the crisis line? Is it an emergency room?
Wow.
Is it calling 911? Who are your lifeguards when in a mental health emergency?
Let's see, that's great information for somebody that just might be feeling all alone. And you just named a whole lot of, you know, different ways that we might be able to reach out to someone, like you say, the friend. And sometimes you might not want to tell your friend, you might want to tell your mother. I think the young gentleman that committed suicide last year, um, I think by the time he was going overboard, his mother said he was in the middle of doing it, and everybody was trying to get there, but they just didn't make it. You know,
Yeah.
um, so I think reaching out is good. Like you said, the clergy, your friend, call the hotlines. In other words, you're saying if you don't feel like you have anybody, you do have this 800 number that you can call
There's always someone.
at any time. You can call. I like the lifeboat situation where you got your life jacket. That means we have different, and that just kind of opens up your mind and make us more aware of exactly maybe what we could do.
Yeah.
Instead of just if you feel alone and just in morally internalizing everything so much to it when you do that, it's just like things are ready to blow up. So it's nice to know that we can have outreach. It's nice to know to hear that it's okay. Try to encourage people that we have a situation. Let's not hide about it. Let's not try to cover it up. We have a toll-free number that we can call. Reach out to your parents, reach out to a friend, you know.
And it's good to remember that people in a crisis don't always need advice. They don't need someone to tell them what to do or how to handle the situation. They just need someone to hear them, to sit by and say, you know what, this is hard.
Wow, that's a big that's a big word right there, because I can imagine some people, out of fear, if somebody's going through there now, you want to tell them what to do, and you might even get into the big lecture, Yeah. I know I can lecture, if it's your family member, but yeah, that's a touchy situation.
Yeah.
That you don't want to press the wrong button there.
It can be very difficult when it's someone that we care about deeply, who's close to us, because we want to just protect them and tell them it's going to be okay. But the reality is sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
And that's where you can say, you know what? I want to help support you. How about we call the crisis line together?
Yeah. Okay. And it's still that way. They still won't feel. They still feel like someone's holding their hands with them. And actually, we're keeping our mouth out of it, like all the other chatter that they don't really need to hear at that time. And just sometimes people just do need to vent, And so I imagine you all probably hear people talking about everything, venting, and then perhaps when they get finished, they will feel better. And then maybe
oftentimes individuals who are having a suicidal crisis, they just need to be connected and heard. And a lot of times there's those feelings of isolation that no one else understands. And sometimes giving advice can be taken in as judgment and make the person feel less connected and more isolated.
Yes.
So by calling the crisis line, we can truly hear them and meet them where they are and help them feel not as alone.
Wow. That's awesome conversation. Also makes you think, like, if you're feeling like that, somebody's lecturing you, almost like you're getting pushed around, maybe a little bit, you feel like somebody's bullying you, maybe, if you're already feeling sensitive like that, So this is all very interesting. I would like to get some literature. Maybe I don't know how to. Maybe you can tell me where I can get it online directly, and then we can talk.
The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline website has amazing resources, as well as the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. There's a chapter in Michigan. They have amazing resources for individuals who are having thoughts of suicide or in a suicidal crisis, as well as how to support a friend or family member. Then there's also support groups locally throughout all of Michigan for anyone who has lost someone to suicide, a survivors of suicide loss support group. Common Ground does have one also that meets the first and third Monday of the month over Zoom, which helps a lot of individuals.
Okay. So anybody can probably, they all be able to link into that and listen?
No, that is only for individuals who have lost someone to suicide. We don't allow anyone just to come in and listen. It's only for survivors.
So that, I know that number. So if I knew somebody, would I just have them call your direct number, Common Ground?
You can have them call the crisis line and get more information. And there are some face-to-face in-person groups in Michigan. Our group right now is just still virtual.
Okay. So that'll help me, because when somebody's talking to me, I'm going like, I need help to tell them, So the best thing to do is to give them the phone number. And I like the fact that some of the people that have lost their loved ones, it's a whole entire family, and they're still going through it. So I can give them this number, and I say, call this number, and they can either have private counseling. So what I say is that private counseling just for you online.
The support group is a group of individuals. It's open, so we have people who pop in to the group, annually during the anniversary of the death of their loved ones. Sometimes people come days to weeks after their loved ones has died by suicide. Some people come regularly, others depending. So it is a very open.
I see this thing is just, it affects many, many people, and some people stay affected for a long time. Life is never the same. Yeah. She told me every day she wakes up, she cries, and it has not been quite a year yet. And so for me, I need to be able to refer instead of, sometimes it's awkward,
Yeah, it is. It's very awkward talking about those elephants in the room.
Yeah. If they tell you, if they pour out to you, then what do I do? What do you say? So next step is let's, I have a number for you to call. So this is good information. Yes. All they got to get that toll-free number again. And that means you can call to get help or find out about the support group. Then call that 800 number. Would you be able to give it again?
1-800-231-1127.
Great. You handle a plethora of things. You work for the youth. You work with people that might be in, sounds like abusive situations and they don't know where to go. You work for people that might be having you feel like you're having an anxiety attack or depressed. I would like to encourage people that if they're depressed to call that number. Because I do, there's a lot of people that might suffer through depression and they just maybe try to wait till it goes away. But the more I talk to you, for me to say, or especially people I'm talking to, call that number. If you're feeling depressed, why don't you, especially if you just, you're going, and if you're feeling deep about it, whatever it is, just call this number. Because
it's anonymous.
It's anonymous. And, it may affect you in a positive way. So I've learned a lot talking to you myself as to what I need to do if I encounter someone that's gone through situations or that's in a situation right now. So I can ask. At least I don't feel like I need to have an answer, because that's where the awkwardness comes in. And I don't know. I feel sorry for the pain, but I don't know what to do. So.
And sometimes that's the best thing to say is, I love you. I'm here for you. I don't know what to do.
Okay.
But I'm here with you.
Okay. Well, see, we're getting counseling on the spot ourselves. So it's like, this is educational and informational, and it just brings about awareness. So I hope that somebody that watches this will watch it and learn like I'm learning.
Breaking that stigma, Londen.
Breaking the stigma, for real. I really appreciate your time, Melissa. I hope that we can talk again. We have talked about earlier, and I guess we'll talk about it some more. Maybe you coming back, or maybe if you have something that you would like to put together that you want to do after we talk, get approval for you to do something, maybe on a monthly basis or something, so we can just keep learning. Like you say, break the stigma. Who knows? Somebody might catch them right in time. It's okay. I'm getting to call this number. If we get used to being able to talk like this, then that will help everybody.
Yes. Yes.
So
making friends with those elephants.
She calls them elephants. Wow. So what we're going to do is we are going to ask you to come back one day if you can. And I'm not sure if I should have somebody else here with us that might be, like a question and answer thing. I don't know if you do that kind of thing, but that would be, people that have been in that predicament that might want to. I had a couple of people today, but I said maybe we should wait a minute because I didn't know if that would be the right thing to do right on the spot. So maybe we can talk about that later, but you're well-read, trained, and experienced, and you seem very calm and comforting. So I think you can handle a question or two come from other people. So is there anything that you would like to say to the community before we all go and, tell them how they can get in touch with you? the hotline.
Common Ground Resource and Crisis Helpline is open 24/7. We help people move from crisis to hope. Reach out if you just want to talk about how to help someone that you care about. The number is 1-800-231-1127. Everybody deserves support and to be heard.
No matter who you are, children, adults, seniors, men and women, boys and girls, anybody, everybody. This is for everyone. So Melissa, thank you. God bless you for, man, you have a serious mission, a serious job, and you are the right person. So we thank you so much for being there for all of us. And thank you for taking time just to talk to me and whoever else is going to see this in our social medias. I'm sure somebody's going to get some help because I learned a few things while I was talking to you. So you broadened my awareness, you broadened my knowledge. And then now I feel like I might, if I encounter a conversation, then I can tell them what to do. I can give them your number. Give them the number.
Wonderful.
And that's it. And then, like you said, if you can't do anything, you say, I love you. I feel your pain, and there's nothing that I can do. So we just have to learn these things. So, Melissa, I hope that you have a great, great day.
Thank you, Londen.
That's you and your entire team for all that you do with helping all of the community. And we're going to tell you, Facebook and YouTube and all the other social medias that will see this, that the number again is
1-800-231-1127.
And don't wait if you're feeling certain kind of way. Don't wait, just do it. And don't be afraid and don't be ashamed. Thank you so much, Melissa. You have a great, great day. Hold on. And I want to say thank you, all of you that are looking out there. We will see you again. We are here once again with this wonderful Miss Melissa Bowman from Common Ground. And what's that slogan that you have?
Helping people move from crisis to hope.
Helping people move from crisis to hope. So thank you so much. And you have a blessed day, Melissa. Bye-bye, everybody.